Let me start by reminding you of something powerful. Your worth is not defined by a title, a relationship, or anyone else's expectations. You are complete, strong, and capable all on your own. A woman without a husband isn't lacking. She is living, growing, and embracing the unique journey God has for her. We live in a world that often tries to tell women that their value is tied to a ring on their finger. But let me tell you, God didn't create you as a supporting role in someone else's life. He created you with a purpose that's as big as the dreams in your heart. You don't need someone else to validate your existence. You're already chosen, loved, and equipped for greatness. Your worth is not defined by your marital status. This truth is fundamental and liberating. In a world that often places undue emphasis on relationships as a measure of success or fulfillment, it's crucial to understand that your value is inherent and not dependent on whether or not you have a partner. You are worthy simply because you exist, and nothing can diminish the uniqueness and strength that you bring to the world. Society often perpetuates the idea that being married or in a relationship signifies stability, happiness, or even validation. These narratives can create unnecessary pressure, especially for women, to conform to a timeline or standard that doesn't fit their individual journey. But the truth is, your worth was established the moment you were created. It doesn't increase with a wedding ring or decrease if you're single. Your identity is not tied to your relationship status. It is rooted in your character, your values, and the impact you make in the world. Living without a partner doesn't mean you are incomplete. The notion that another person completes you implies that you are somehow lacking on your own. This is a damaging perspective that can lead to dependency or settling for less than you deserve. You are already whole, equipped with everything you need to live a fulfilling and impactful life. The love and respect you cultivate for yourself are foundational, creating a strong sense of identity and purpose. Being single provides an extraordinary opportunity to focus on personal growth and self-discovery. It's a season where you can fully invest in your passions, pursue your goals, and nurture your relationship with God or your inner self. Instead of seeing this as a time of lack, view it as a time of abundance of possibilities, freedom, and self-awareness. This is your chance to lay a strong foundation for a future that aligns with your dreams and values. It's also important to recognize that relationships are not the sole source of happiness. While companionship can bring joy, your happiness ultimately comes from within. It's built on understanding who you are and embracing that with confidence. By taking the time to nurture your inner world, you create a wellspring of joy and peace that isn't reliant on external circumstances or people. This kind of happiness is enduring because it's rooted in self-acceptance and gratitude. Furthermore, understanding your worth means setting boundaries and not settling for relationships that don't honor or respect you. When you know your value, you attract people who recognize and celebrate it. You don't have to chase love or prove your worth to anyone. The right relationships will align naturally based on mutual respect and shared values. Until then, it's perfectly okay and often necessary to walk alone for a season to protect your peace and prioritize your growth. Your worth is also reflected in the way you contribute to the world. Whether it's through your work, your creativity, your relationships with friends and family, or the kindness you show to strangers, your impact extends far beyond the context of a romantic partnership. You have the power to inspire, to lead, and to make a difference in ways that transcend marital status. It's time to shed the idea that being single is a flaw or a failure. It's neither. It's a unique and valuable chapter of your life that holds as much meaning and purpose as any other season. Embrace it with pride, knowing that you are worthy of love and respect, regardless of your relationship status. By living fully and authentically, you not only honor yourself, but also set an example for others, showing that a fulfilling life is built on self-worth, not societal expectations. You are not defined by whether someone chooses you. You are defined by the fact that you have already been chosen by a higher power, by your dreams, and by the life you are actively creating. Stand confidently in that truth and let your light shine. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own plans or desires. This truth can be challenging to embrace, especially in a world that often demands immediate results and quick fixes. Yet, when we trust in God's timing, we open ourselves to His higher purpose and divine wisdom, knowing that He sees the entire picture while we see only a fragment. In life, it's natural to feel impatient. We pray for answers, seek opportunities, and hope for breakthroughs, but when things don't happen as quickly as we want, we may start to doubt or feel forgotten. However, God's delay is not His denial. Every moment of waiting serves a purpose, preparing us for what's to come. Just as seeds take time to grow into flourishing plants, God uses seasons of waiting to nurture and strengthen us, ensuring we are ready to receive His blessings when the time is right. God's timing requires us to trust His plan, even when we don't understand it. There are moments when we might feel stuck, like doors are closing or opportunities are slipping away. But what we perceive as rejection is often God's redirection. He may be steering us away from something that isn't meant for us, or leading us towards something far greater than we could have imagined. His no or not yet is an act of love, protecting us from harm or premature blessings that we are not ready to handle. The beauty of God's timing is that it aligns with His promises. In the Bible, we see countless examples of individuals who had to wait for God's plans to unfold. Abraham and Sarah waited for years before they were blessed with a child. Joseph endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment before stepping into his role as a leader in Egypt. These stories remind us that God's timing is never rushed, but it is always faithful. When His promises are fulfilled, they exceed our expectations and leave no doubt that His hand was in every detail. Patience in God's timing builds character. It teaches us to rely on Him to deepen our faith and to let go of our need for control. In a culture that glorifies instant gratification, waiting can feel counterintuitive. Yet it is in the waiting that we grow the most. We learn resilience, humility, and gratitude. We come to understand that our worth is not tied to how quickly we achieve our goals, but to the trust we place in God's plan for our lives. God's timing also teaches us to cherish the journey, not just the destination. Each season of life, whether it feels fruitful or barren, has its lessons and blessings. The waiting period may be a time to focus on personal growth, strengthen our relationships, or deepen our spiritual connection. When we shift our perspective and see delays as opportunities for preparation, we find peace in the process. One of the greatest gifts of trusting God's timing is the peace that comes with surrender. When we stop striving to force outcomes and instead place our trust in Him, we free ourselves from anxiety and fear. We begin to see the beauty in the unfolding of His plan, knowing that He is working all things together for our good. Even when the road is unclear, His guidance is sure and His love is steadfast. God's timing is not just about when something happens, it's about how and why it happens. His timing ensures that blessings come at the perfect moment in the perfect way so that they bring the maximum glory to Him and the greatest fulfillment to us. Trusting His timing means believing that His plan is greater than our own and that He is always working behind the scenes for our benefit. When life feels uncertain and waiting seems endless, remember that God is never late. His timing is always perfect and His plans are always good. Trust in Him, lean into His promises, and know that what He has prepared for you will come to fruition at the exact right moment. In that trust, you will find peace, purpose, and the assurance that you are always in His hands. Happiness comes from within, rooted in the depths of who we are rather than in external circumstances. Many people spend their lives chasing happiness through achievements, possessions, relationships, or recognition, only to find that these things offer fleeting joy. True happiness, however, is a state of being that arises when we cultivate inner peace, self-acceptance, and gratitude for life as it is, not as we wish it to be. One of the greatest myths about happiness is that it depends on external factors. People often think they'll be happy when they reach a milestone, find the right partner, or achieve a dream. While these things can bring satisfaction, they don't sustain happiness. Life is unpredictable, and external factors can change in an instant. The only constant is our inner world, the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions we nurture within ourselves. When we realize that happiness is an inside job, we empower ourselves to create it, regardless of our circumstances. A key component of finding happiness within is self-acceptance. Embracing who we are with all our strengths and imperfections lays the foundation for a contented life. When we stop comparing ourselves to others or striving for an unrealistic ideal, we free ourselves from the pressure to prove our worth. Instead, we can focus on honoring our unique journey and finding joy in being authentically ourselves. Gratitude also plays a significant role in cultivating internal happiness. It shifts our perspective from what is lacking to what is abundant in our lives. Even in challenging times, there is always something to be thankful for: a kind gesture, a moment of beauty, or the lessons learned through difficulty. Practicing gratitude daily fosters a mindset of appreciation and helps us recognize the blessings that already surround us. Another pathway to inner happiness is living in the present moment. Worrying about the future or dwelling on the past robs us of the joy available in the here and now. Mindfulness, or the practice of being fully present, allows us to savor life's simple pleasures, like a warm cup of coffee, a good conversation, or the beauty of nature. By grounding ourselves in the present, we find that happiness often resides in the small, everyday moments we might otherwise overlook. Happiness from within also requires a sense of purpose. When we align our actions with our values and passions, we experience a deep sense of fulfillment that external rewards cannot provide. Purpose gives meaning to our efforts and connects us to something greater than ourselves. Whether it's through helping others, pursuing a creative endeavor, or growing spiritually, living with purpose anchors us in a joy that transcends circumstances. It's important to note that happiness doesn't mean the absence of challenges or negative emotions. Life is a mix of highs and lows, and true happiness comes from our ability to navigate both with grace. When we face difficulties, our inner resilience and mindset determine how we respond. Instead of seeking to avoid discomfort, we can embrace it as an opportunity for growth, trusting that every experience shapes us into stronger, wiser individuals. Cultivating happiness within also involves letting go of what no longer serves us, whether it's toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or the pursuit of things that drain us. Clearing emotional and mental clutter creates space for joy and clarity to flourish. It's about making choices that honor our well-being and reflect our deepest values. Ultimately, happiness is a journey, not a destination. It is cultivated through consistent practices like gratitude, self-reflection, and mindful living. It grows when we take the time to nurture ourselves, prioritize our peace, and invest in what truly matters. When we stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for joy, we discover that happiness has been within us all along, waiting to be unlocked. By turning inward and embracing the richness of our inner lives, we can experience a sense of contentment and fulfillment that nothing external can shake. Happiness comes from within, and it is ours to create, cherish, and share with the world. You are not missing out, even when it feels like life is moving faster for everyone around you. In a world filled with social media highlights and comparisons, it's easy to believe that others are living a more exciting, successful, or fulfilling life. But the truth is, your journey is uniquely your own, and there is no need to measure your path against someone else's. What looks like abundance or joy in another's life is often just one moment of a larger unseen story, while your story is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. Life isn't a race, and there's no universal timeline you need to follow. Everyone's path is different, and success, love, or fulfillment comes to us in its own time and way. The pressure to keep up with others or to conform to society's expectations can leave you feeling like you're falling behind. However, you are right where you are supposed to be. Your pace, your experiences, and your growth are unique and cannot be compared to anyone else's. When you feel like you're missing out, it's often because you're focusing on what you lack rather than what you have. Shifting your perspective to gratitude can transform this mindset. Instead of dwelling on the opportunities or experiences you don't yet have, take time to recognize the beauty, blessings, and growth already present in your life. Gratitude anchors you in the present moment, helping you see that life is rich with opportunities to learn, love, and grow right here, right now. The idea of missing out also implies that happiness and fulfillment are external, tied to events, possessions, or achievements. But the truth is, real happiness comes from within. It's not about what you have or what you've done. It's about how you choose to view and live your life. When you focus on building inner peace, self-love, and purpose, you discover that you don't need external validation to feel complete. There's power in embracing the present season of your life, even if it doesn't look like what you envisioned. Every season serves a purpose, whether it's a time of growth, rest, healing, or preparation. Instead of longing for what others have, invest in where you are. Pursue your passions, nurture your relationships, and take care of your well-being. When you focus on your own path and pour energy into the life you're building, you'll realize that you're not missing out. You're creating something extraordinary. It's also important to remember that what you see in others is not the full picture. Social media and public appearances often showcase the best moments, not the struggles, sacrifices, or hardships that come with them. Comparing yourself to others based on curated highlights is unfair to your own journey. Everyone faces challenges, and no life is as perfect as it may appear. Trust that your journey, with all its ups and downs, is meaningful and purposeful. Instead of chasing what you think you're missing, embrace the freedom and opportunities that come with your current stage of life. Sometimes what feels like a void is actually an open space for growth, discovery, and new beginnings. Use this time to explore who you are, define your values, and create a vision for the future that resonates with your true self. You are not defined by what you have or haven't experienced yet. Your worth isn't tied to accomplishments, relationships, or possessions. You are whole and complete just as you are, and your life is unfolding in perfect alignment with your purpose. Trust that what is meant for you will come at the right time, and until then, find joy and meaning in the present. You are not missing out because your journey is uniquely yours. Celebrate the life you're living, the lessons you're learning, and the person you're becoming. Every step you take, no matter how small it seems, is a step toward the life you're meant to live. Instead of focusing on what you think you lack, focus on the abundance that already surrounds you, and you'll find that you're not missing out at all. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Building a life of strength and independence is one of the most empowering choices you can make. It means taking control of your own destiny, stepping into your personal power, and creating a life that reflects your values, desires, and goals. It's a journey that requires dedication, resilience, and self-belief, but it's also a path that leads to freedom, fulfillment, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that you are fully capable of shaping your own future. Strength and independence come from within. They are cultivated through the choices you make, the mindset you adopt, and the actions you take. It starts with knowing that you have everything inside of you to overcome challenges, to rise above difficulties, and to pursue the life you want. When you embrace this inner power, you stop relying on external validation or approval. You learn to trust your own instincts and make decisions based on what aligns with your purpose and values. One of the foundational elements of building strength and independence is self-reliance. This doesn't mean doing everything alone or isolating yourself, but it does mean developing the ability to depend on yourself for emotional support, motivation, and guidance. It means being resourceful, finding solutions, and taking responsibility for your own happiness. When you stop waiting for others to make things happen for you and begin to take action in your own life, you create the momentum needed to build the life you want. Building strength and independence also involves overcoming fear and doubt. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown can be crippling, but they don't have to hold you back. True strength comes from facing those fears, stepping out of your comfort zone, and knowing that you have the resilience to handle whatever comes your way. Every challenge you face and every obstacle you overcome adds to your personal strength, teaching you valuable lessons along the way. The more you face and move through fear, the stronger and more independent you become. Another important aspect of independence is setting healthy boundaries. When you set boundaries, you are prioritizing your own well-being and making sure that your time and energy are spent in ways that align with your values. Boundaries protect your mental and emotional health, enabling you to focus on what truly matters to you. They also allow you to say no without guilt, knowing that your energy is precious and should be directed toward things and people that support your growth and happiness. Independence also comes from having a clear sense of purpose and direction in life. When you know what you want and where you're going, it becomes easier to make decisions and stay on track. Having goals gives you something to strive toward and keeps you motivated. Your purpose can be found in many different areas of life, whether it's through your career, your passions, your relationships, or your personal growth. A clear purpose helps you stay focused and provides the foundation for making empowered choices, even in the face of uncertainty. Strength and independence are also built on a foundation of self-love and self-compassion. You have to be kind to yourself through the highs and lows of life. When you make mistakes, face setbacks, or experience disappointments, the most important thing is how you treat yourself in those moments. Embrace the truth that you are enough, just as you are. Self-love allows you to stay grounded, keep moving forward, and honor your own worth. It's the fuel that keeps you strong and independent, even when the world around you may be challenging. Finally, building a life of strength and independence requires consistency. It's not about one big leap or sudden transformation. It's about small, consistent steps that build over time. Each day, you have the opportunity to make choices that bring you closer to the life you envision. Whether it's pursuing a new skill, taking time for self-care, or standing firm in your beliefs, every action you take contributes to your growth and independence. Building a life of strength and independence isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. It's about creating a life where you stand tall in your own power, trust in your abilities, and live in alignment with your true self. When you cultivate strength and independence, you're not only setting yourself up for a fulfilling life, but you're also showing the world what's possible when you take charge of your own story. Walking in your God-given purpose is one of the most powerful and fulfilling journeys you can embark on. It's about discovering the unique calling that God has placed on your life and aligning your thoughts, actions, and choices with that purpose. When you walk in your purpose, you tap into a deep sense of fulfillment, direction, and peace. You understand that you are here for a reason, and your life has profound meaning that goes beyond the ordinary. The first step in walking in your God-given purpose is recognizing that you were created for something greater than yourself. God has designed each one of us with unique gifts, talents, and qualities that are meant to be used for His glory and to make a positive impact in the world. Whether you are called to serve others, create something beautiful, lead with compassion, or spread a message of hope, your purpose is part of a divine plan. Your life is not an accident. It is filled with intentionality and purpose. Discovering your purpose may not always be an immediate process. It requires patience, prayer, and reflection. Sometimes God reveals your purpose gradually, one step at a time. As you seek His guidance, open your heart to His wisdom and trust in His timing. You will begin to see glimpses of the path He has set before you. When you make the effort to connect with God through prayer, meditation, or reading Scripture, you invite His presence into your life, and He will begin to illuminate the direction He wants you to go. As you seek to walk in your purpose, it's important to trust in the plan that God has for you, even when it's unclear or doesn't make sense. There may be moments of doubt, fear, or uncertainty, but it's in those moments that your faith can grow stronger. Trusting in God's plan means surrendering your own will and allowing Him to lead you. It's about having faith that He will guide you every step of the way, even when you don't have all the answers. Walking in your God-given purpose also requires courage. It's easy to be intimidated by the challenges and obstacles that may stand in your way. You may face criticism, rejection, or fear of failure, but know that your purpose is greater than any obstacle you may encounter. God equips you with the strength, wisdom, and resilience you need to overcome challenges. When you walk in the confidence of your purpose, you move beyond your fears and limitations, knowing that with God on your side, there is nothing that can stand against you. Another key to walking in your purpose is to align your actions with your values. When you know what your purpose is, it becomes easier to make decisions that honor your calling. Every choice, big or small, should be made with the understanding that you are working toward fulfilling your divine purpose. Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your community, make sure your actions reflect the values and beliefs that align with your purpose. You are also called to serve others as part of your purpose. Walking in your God-given purpose isn't just about personal success or fulfillment. It's about using your gifts to bless others. When you serve with a heart of love and humility, you not only fulfill your purpose, but you also contribute to the greater good of God's kingdom. Your purpose is not only about what you can receive, but what you can give. By helping others and making a positive impact, you reflect God's love and light in the world. In walking in your purpose, it's essential to stay focused on the bigger picture. There will be distractions, setbacks, and times when things don't go according to plan. But remember that God's purpose for you is bigger than any temporary difficulty. Trust that every step you take is part of a bigger divine plan. Keep your eyes on Him, knowing that He is faithful to fulfill His promises in your life. Lastly, walking in your purpose requires perseverance. It may not always be easy, and the road may not always be smooth, but with each challenge comes an opportunity to grow stronger and deeper in your faith. Stay committed to the journey, knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are walking in the path that God has prepared for you, and He will always lead you to where you need to be. Walking in your God-given purpose is a journey of faith, courage, and obedience. When you align your life with God's will and purpose for you, you find true fulfillment and meaning. Trust that your life has significance and embrace the calling that God has placed on your heart. When you walk in His purpose, you will experience peace, joy, and fulfillment like never before.